A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John, chapter 18, verses 1 and 19, verses 42. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Jesus went out with his disciples across the Kidron Valley to where there was a garden into which he and his disciples entered. Judas, his betrayer, also knew the place, because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas got on a band of soldiers and guards from the chief priests and the Pharisees, and went there with lanterns, torches, and weapons. Jesus, knowing everything that was going to happen to him, went out and said to them, "Whom are you looking for?" They answered, "Jesus the Nazarene." He said to them, "I am." Judas, his betrayer, was also with them. When he said to them, "I am," they turned away and fell to the ground. So he again asked them, "Whom are you looking for?" They said, "Jesus the Nazarene." Jesus answered, "I told you that I am. So if you're looking for me, let these men go." This was to fulfill what he had said, "I have not lost any of those you gave me." Then Simon Peter, who had a saw, drew in, struck the high priest's slaves, and cut off his right ear. The slave's name was Malchus. Jesus said to Peter, "Put your sword into the scabbard. Shall I not drink the cup that the Father gave me?" So the band of soldiers, the tribune, and the Jewish guard seized Jesus, bound him, and brought him to Annas first. He was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was high priest that year. It was Caiaphas who had counseled the Jews that it was better that one man should die rather than the people. Simon Peter and the other disciples followed Jesus.
Let us now listen to a short reflection on the Holy Gospel according to St. John, chapter 18, verses 1 to chapter 19, verse 42. The paradox of darkness and divine love. Father Rolheiser gives an eloquent reflection on Good Friday. Good Friday was bad long before it was good, at least from outward appearances, he says. How can a day marked by God's crucifixion be considered good? As Jesus hung on the cross, light surrendered to darkness, love to hatred, and life to death. Outwardly, it seemed anything but good. Jesus, who performed mighty signs for the people, but now appears so vulnerable, sinking into personal doubt. Even the angel who strengthened him in Gethsemane is now absent while he is on the cross. A crushing darkness of doubt tormented him, leading to a desperate cry, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Imagine the weight of that despair, the abandonment of one whom he called Abba. In his darkest hour, God's silence felt deafening. How would it feel if the one you loved most abandoned you when you needed them most? Now on Good Friday, doubt overpowers him. Yet, within that struggle lay redemption, the triumph of love over darkness. For in the seeming silence, God's love endures, and darkness gives way to resurrection. Here is where Good Friday turns from bad to good. Jesus surrenders himself not in bitterness or anger, but in trust, gratitude, and forgiveness. In that surrender, Jesus has won the most epic of all battles, the struggle between good and evil. The voice from the cross calls on us to let our bitterness and anger give way to trust, gratitude, and forgiveness by trusting even when we don't understand, by loving even when we are hated, and by forgiving even when we are being hurt.